is your stretch strap. So it's best if you have one that's not pliable, just so that it doesn't give you any extra little pull. If you do have one that is, not a big deal. Find yourself options. If you, my husband's in the same room as me, so if I giggle, it's because of him. If you need a headrest for your head, go ahead and grab it and place it to the side. Otherwise, start yourself in sits bones or a little bit wider. Think of drawing the abs in, relaxing the shoulders down, and just find that center. So we're thinking of pubic bone, belly button, rib cage, a gentle little zipper up and in. We're relaxing through the shoulders, and I'm just kind of moving back and forth to find that foundation on the floor. Think inhale nose, exhale mouth. And then we're just going to start with that strap nice and wide so it's not causing you any stress in the shoulders. So if you're tight, it's going to feel too wide initially, but in order to get up and over your shoulders, you might need that. So we're going to bring it down. We're going to fold the hands and just press them back. And then bring it down, unfold, come all the way around. Place your hands on your quads and give me a little peel down, round back, round back. Drop the tailbone, start to come up, inhale through the nose. As you exhale, bring that band up, or the strap, bring it behind your back. Again, we're just gonna turn that. We're gonna extend our shoulders into extension, bring it back in, unfold, bring it down, round vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, support that flexion, drop the tailbone, come up one more time with support, bring it up. Big breath as you pull it all the way around. Take the hands in the back and just stay here for a moment. As you press your arms into extension or the shoulder girdle into extension, bring your feet a little closer into what you'd be a comfortable squat position. Hold the hands down and just kind of give me a squat here. In your squat, I want you to rock back and forth. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. So the tendency is if I drop too low in my squat, my tailbone's going to tuck, right? I want to stay neutral. And I just want to reach those arms. The hands behind actually makes this a little bit harder because often we counterbalance with the arms in front. So it should be a little bit more difficult to find that position. Hold your squat, reach the arms, bring them down. Exhale, reach, inhale down. So just getting some heat into that quad, a little bit of hamstring, press into that. Unfold the hands, bring it all the way around and go right to the floor if you're able to. Now if that's tight, hands on shins or quads. Otherwise, press those legs to straight and just give me that first forward fold. Look through your legs, let your head dangle at the very top of your spine versus looking at the floor. And then bend the knees, drop the tailbone, drag yourself all the way up. And on this one, just give a little wiggle and rotate those shoulders. Bring them down and back. So keeping the strap in front, you can go a little tighter on this one if you want. And let's just find that little squat again. So this time our hands in front, they're going to counterbalance us. If you're okay, you're going to stay here. If it's right and feeling good, you're going to bring it a little higher. Still workable, you're going to bring it equal to the ears. So if you didn't grab wide enough for your shoulders, wider stance on the arms. Now stay here, deepen into your booty, and just lift up these heels a little bit. Find your balance point. Lower them down. Tiny little lift. Lower it down. Now if you have a higher releve in you, go right ahead. My stance at this point in time is about as wide as my mat, so I'm a good shoulder width distance. Take a look at those knees, make sure they're not knocking in, and your shoulders are just coming down into your back pockets gently. Hold those heels off just a smidge. Let's hold for 5, 4, getting into our bodies, 3, 2, lower the heels, lower the arms, hands, quads, or floor, press that out. Let your head dangle, rock it back and forth. Remember, if this is too tight on the back, your elbows are on your knees and you're dangling with support, right? And then go ahead, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, articulate the spine. Roll those shoulders as you come up. Take the band in tight so it's about as wide as your waistline. Feet in parallel sits bones. And I like to pull a little bit. So if you've got one that has loops, I put my thumbs in it and then I imagine that I'm pulling it apart. And that gives me a little bit of connection into my shoulders. Imagine a lemon underneath your armpits and you're just squeezing those down slightly. Keep your ASIs to me. Rotate your rib cage to the side wall. And bring it back. Just a natural breath. I like to inhale as I rotate, exhale as I come back to center. Honestly, as long as you're breathing, don't worry too much about where that breath is happening. Just don't hold your breath. We're going to add a little flexion to our rotation. Rotate it. Now give a little flexion and reach those arms out. Find that nice strong length. Lengthen it all the way up to tall. Bring it back to center. Still pulling that apart. Rotate. ASIs to me. Exhale as you press. Inhale, stack to tall. Exhale back to center. Widen it a smidge more. Reach it up. And then grab that one side and pull yourself actively into lateral. So right here, the hand is a little farther out than my top arm. I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to pull down on that strap a little bit and lean my hips in opposition so I can slowly coast. I wake up pretty tight through here. Crystal, you were saying the back is a little miffy. This is where if I'm between two planes of glass, QL is going to fire a bit more. If that's bothering me, if I do a slight posterior tilt with a little bit of an angle and forward flexion on the top part, I will come out of that nasty muscle a little bit. From here, let that bottom arm drop. Stir the pot. Nice big stir of the pot. Go ahead and stir it the other way. Slide your hand back into your strap, fold down to the floor, and rotate through the center. Roll it up, stacking your spine, and just give a few little wiggles there. Shake that out. Reach it all the way up. Again, shoulders down. Over we go the other way. You'll have a dumbass side. Lean your hips, pull the bottom of the strap down to the floor. My pinkies are slicing towards the floor and towards the sky. And then I'm going to add that little bit of a movement, imagining someone's grabbing my waistline and my pelvis and very gently pulling it to the side. Again, QL giving you some issues. Slight forward flexion is just going to deviate away from that. Go ahead and stay here. Pull down with your bottom hand and breathe as big as you can physically into the intercostal muscles that you've exposed here. Theoretically, kind of like one lung breathing, although you can't really do that. Go ahead and let your one arm go and stir the pot. Keep your breaths going, nice and big. We're opening up those lungs. Stir the other direction or open up the intercostals, which kind of stop us from being able to breathe really deep. Fold down so you're in a rotation. Come back to the center. It's like a hundreds position. Stack that up. Roll those shoulders. Take that band, place it at the very end of your mat. And we're just going to do some natural flow. I'm going to throw a little bit of yoga into that along with it. Find yourself a little bit of fusion. Find yourself rocking back and forth. Reach the arms to the sky. Come around the corner. Imagine hollowing out the abdomen. Find your hands towards the floor. Go ahead and walk out to 4-point stance. 4, 3, knees down on 2 and 1. Uncurl the toes, spread out your fingers so your middle finger is going straight down the mat, and just give me sternum drop. So neutral spine, neutral pelvis. My tailbone's not moving, my belly's not moving, I've drawn it up and in. I'm just dropping through the scapula and then pushing away. Protract, retract, back and forth. 2 more. On the last one, stay pushed away and imagine still those little lemons underneath your armpits and draw your shoulders down so you feel your shoulder blade rotate down and away. From here, you're going to curl the toes and sit back into those toes. Let's warm up the toes. So I just want you to sit forward and backwards, get some movement into your wrists. So here, don't be shy about leaning too far forward over the wrists just to warm them up. If that causes you any grief, you can go on your elbows. And then take a peek through your legs and make sure you're not sickling. If you've got no issues going on in that big toe, get it underneath you as you're going back and forth. So you're stretching out that whole line on the bottom of the foot. And if we're okay, you're going to grab that strap, you're going to bring it up, and you're going to sit the weight here. Now, knees not inviting, come higher. Knees okay, down you go. Strap to the back. So if you don't need the strap for arrow pose, don't worry about it. If you do, you're going to grab the strap with some distance, push those arms and fists down to the floor, roll your shoulders open, lift your heart. You're going to feel a gentle extension happening in the spine. Your abs are engaged. It's not floppy. Nice big breath. And if you're okay, you can push those arms away from your feet slightly. Just one big stretch here. Open with a big breath. And as you exhale, let that come forward, just to kind of wake everything up. Go ahead and move that strap back to the front, uncurl the toes, and paddle them out. Give them a little release. Finding your 4-point, push away with power, angry cat. Round your spine, curl it all the way out, hollow the abdomen, big breath into the back rib cage. Sit your booty down towards your heels. Reach those fingers too far forward. So remember, if your knees don't do this and hips don't do it, just modify your depths. Come back up into rounded, and then go through your rounded from the tailbone to the tip of the head, sequentially, cow. Big breath. Start at your tailbone, roll, hollow the abdomen, round it up. Try not to death grip the butt cheek. And then roll back into the hips. Reach those hands what feels too far forward. Big breath here. And then come back up rounded. Go through your rounded into your cow, extend it up. and then bring yourself back into your neutral. Curl those toes again, and just kind of set yourself. Take the time to get a good curl, and we're going to short plank 1. So abs engaged, lift an inch. Just an inch, no higher. Hang out here. Draw those abs in. Let's go for 5 and 4. Cycle your breath. And 3 and 2. 2 options, down dog, elephant, or child's pose. Press where you need to go. Press where you need to go. Go ahead, walk your feet farther back. Get rid of your shoulders and paw at the floor. Small little articulations, warming up those toes. Come over that big toe. So look at your feet and come through the big toe so you're not rolling and sickling. Take the heels, drop them, and drop deeper into your shoulders. So tight hammies, not going to happen. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and then drop into the shoulders. So I want you to come out of the sensation of hamstring stretch and get into the sensation of shoulder stretch. So if you're tight in the lower half, you'll need to bend and lift the heels. So then you can drop into your shoulders. Don't fight that. Take a big breath for me. And then come all the way over your hands and reset to a nice, strong, full plank. You need those knees down, go right ahead. This is traditionally done neutral. I like a little tuck of the tailbone, it just gives me a bit more strength. And start your pouncing cat. So we're gonna pounce back and pounce forward. Too much going on the torso today, you're dropping to your knees. So here is my modified. Choose where you need to go. We're gonna get some big movement going with that leg. So you're going to pounce back, and as you come forward, you're going to drive one knee to the outside towards your hand. Big drive outside. My knee goes down, and I'm just going to give a little gecko here as I rotate it open. Bring that hand all the way back. Get it strong. Lift the knee off. Push the hips back. Go again. Drive forward. Knee drops. Rotate open. Remember, your knee can be down the whole time. You don't have to have it lifted. Bring the hand down, curl the toes if you're uncurled, bring it back. So one more time each side. Drive forward, lower the knee carefully, rotate open. Look to the back hand, get cervical rotation happening. Bring the hand down, strong, push it back. Last one, drive it forward, lower the knee. Big breath here. I want a massive inhale as I open. Big inhale. Bring the hand down, push it back. Go ahead and find your plank. Lower the knees, uncurl the toes, walk your hands a little farther forward, and slowly bring the spine down with control. So we're going to go into the floppies, right? So I want to find a little lateral rotation of hip and socket. Doesn't have to be huge. And then my hands just into kind of swan position. Wiggle. Let your belly go. Let your booty go. No connection here. And just come up a small amount. You will feel a sensation if you're not clenching your glutes and pulling your abs in of almost a compression sensation in the lumbar spine. We're working the mobility of the actual bones. So you're going to allow that to occur. And then gently come down. But you're going to restrict your height based on when the butt goes into protection mode and it squeezes. So let's do it again. If you can come higher, go ahead. Now, if you tend to be hypermobile, you're not going to come as high as you feel you want to. If you know you're restricted in the movement, you can come higher. Now I'm butt clenching. Relax the glute. If you butt clench, go down a bit, relax it out, and see if you can come back up to the distance. So just working that anterior natural curve in the lumbar spine, right? Bring it all the way down. And now we're going to connect to get our brain out of that disconnect. So same leg position, but I want you to bring it sphinx. Bring your elbows underneath you. You're forming 11s with your upper arm. And then bring your legs more into parallel, open as comfortable. From here, I'm going to pull my abs up. So this is my lazy, right? Everything's relaxed. And now I'm going to draw the abs up and in, and you'll feel the spinal position change. You should no longer feel that compression. Shift your shoulders into your back pockets. Imagine lemons underneath your armpits. Give them a gentle squeeze. If the neck invites, you're going to look forward. And then we're just going to hold some massive breaths here, just waking up those extensor muscles. Big inhale. Big exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going with 2 more breaths. Super hard position to take big breaths in. We're vulnerable. The chest is open. Really draw those shoulders down. Excuse me. 1 more. Pull your belly button up into your spine. Now turn your elbows out and bring it down carefully. Go ahead and just give a little booty wiggle. Let everything go. If you want to turn one cheek or turn the other just to get some movement in your neck, go right ahead. Bring your hands back into more of a push-up position. Engage. Give me a small tuck. Now, if you're a push-up from the toes person, curl them. If you're a push-up from knees, keep your knees down. I've gone wider than my mat. I want this to be for my pec. Scoop, give a small supported spine, and up we go. We're going to go down, 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 push away. Down, 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 push away. So super mindful, keep going for me, that you're not trying to reach your head to the floor. I don't actually give a crap if your head gets to the ground. Your chest is aiming for the floor. So if you can't get your chest down there, don't drop the neck to feel the sensation. Tuck the tailbone under a little bit. Traditionally for PAI, this is done in neutral. I prefer it supported. 2 more. Down, down, down. Exhale away. 1 more time. Down, down, down. Press away. Pike your hips back. Walk your hands in. And if you're in position for down dog already, enjoy it. Otherwise, join into the down dog. Go ahead and play with those toes a little bit. So I'm going to go more traditional with the movements today and a little less in the standing leg work that we often play with. So just get ready for that. Give a little poodle wag here. So if I'm tight, my heels are lifted, my knees are bent, but I'm going to now wiggle my tailbone from left to right. Open up poodle wag. Don't be shy about dropping those hips quite far off to the side and turning on that core to stop you from actually dumping to the side. And then when you're ready, walk your hands into your feet. 4, 3. If you're fingertipping, palm is down, knees will bend. 2 and 1, look through your legs, and then bend the knees, drop the tailbone, articulate the spine, big inhale at the very top. Exhale, hands down, center heart, and scoot yourself to the front of your mat. Your band should be there, or your strap. I'm going to go into a lateral rotation, knee, hip, ankle. My big toes are kind of pointing to the corner of my mat. We're just going to do some passive squats. So right down. If this is where you go, that's where you stay. If you've got more mobility, but your heels have to lift, that's okay too. So come down to where you can and give me some little movements from left to right. So if I'm a bit tighter, I'm here moving around. If I'm okay, I'm right down. Right down. Nice and low. See what your hips will give you this morning. I think everybody is this morning that's on today. Inhale, exhale. Now go ahead and stay here. So my heels have to be lifted. If you don't like rolling like a ball from this position, just sit down, especially if you have any spinal things going on. Otherwise, I'm going to roll and then sit tall. Beautiful. So heels together, toes apart, preparatory, hands behind the knees. I've got a good 6 fists between my pubic bone and my heels, and I'm just doing my diamond roll back. Get that lower back a bit warmer. Exhale, scoop off the sit bone, hollow the abdomen. Don't throw your chin forward, soften it, look to your pubic bone. Pull around the corner, grab your ankles, move your insulation out of the way by giving a little rocking. And pull yourself forward. Sorry guys, my microphone's caught around my chain and it's choking me out. Beautiful. And then start at your tailbone and stack to tall. Let's go again. Scoop, hollow the abdomen, roll just off the sit bone. Relax your shoulders down. Inhale, come around the corner. Stay here. Take your hands, if you've got long arms, and you're going to wrap them around your ankles, in between your legs and around your ankles. Once you're there, walk your feet in a little closer and try and take your lumbar spine vertical to the earth while you take your thoracic and your cervical and you round it. Imagine my hands are on your ASIS, pulling it to the back wall while you use your arms around your legs to traction forward, lengthening the spine. Again, massive breaths into the back here. One more big breath. Start at your tailbone and peel to tall. Lovely. So we're going to play with a little open leg rocker. Grab that band, strap, put it underneath the knees. Come towards the front of your mat and make sure there's nothing behind you. So in this position, you're going to go into lateral rotation of the knee, hip, ankle, right? And when we come up, we're going to draw. We're going to try and scoop and draw off our sits bones, finding balance just off the sits. So we're nice and tall. My hands are underneath the strap coming up. It's the easiest hold. So I'm fairly tight so that I can feel that my arms are going to assist with a little bicep curl to bring those hands up and legs up. So I'm going to scoop off my sits bones and find a hold. So if it's not tight enough, hold a little closer in, and then scoop to lengthen back out. As you lengthen out, see if you can find tall, right? You're going to scoop off the sits bones. Drag both feet in equally. So this is hard for me to see for you guys, but what I want you to do is make sure as you drag those legs in, keep going, that you don't pull one leg off the ground faster than the other, or as you pull in, you don't feel yourself twist. So there'll be a tendency for most people to pull one leg before the other and twist off to the side. Come up as symmetrical as you can. Be picky about this. So go ahead and stay in that rolled position. From here, I'm going to slide my strap down a little lower and open up my legs. Now, I may or may not be able to get much more stretch than this, but I'm holding on to the abdominal connection here in a C form. And I'm just going to straighten out those legs, or not. Just listen to where you can go. And then I'm going to bend the knees and deepen my C. So it almost feels you're going to fall backwards, but you got to contract the abs not to. So we're going to lengthen. I still have my lumbar and my lower back in flexion, and then I'm lengthening down. So I deepen the flexion, and then I lengthen it out a little bit, but it's still flexion there. You can't get rid of it here. And then bring it down. So we're going to roll like a ball. Open leg rocker. If you can keep the legs straight, go ahead. I'm going to show modified with the knees bent. I'm going to roll back and then straighten the legs above, and then come back up to my balance point. Hold your abs. And if I can, I'll re-straighten the legs. If I'm okay, I'll keep the legs straight the whole time, and I'll roll back, and then I'll come up and lose my balance. So I bent my knees to find my balance. See if you can keep those legs straight. I'm going to scoop off the sits to roll back, and then roll back up, turn on that core, find your balance. This one's tough. We're going 2 more. Exhale back, inhale, find your balance. One more time. Exhale back. Inhale, find your balance point. Now on this one, roll back, stay back. So I'm going to roll back, bend the knees, and roll my spine too long. Take the strap out, put it on your hips, and just give me some knee sways. So I'm just going to roll into that windshield washer. If you want to use the strap above your head just for an anchor point, go ahead. As I come to the side, I'm getting a little twisty and I'm lifting one hip. So it's not just a kind of a very passive windshield wiper. You are pushing into a little bit of mobilization to the back because it just worked really hard there. Couple inhales, exhales, and then bring yourself back into our nice neutral position. So we want to be somewhat in the middle of our mat. If you need a headrest, go ahead and grab it. Otherwise, find yourself in a slightly supported spine. So close the distance, middle finger on ASIs, thumbs on ribs. Close the distance very gently between those 2 points. Don't shove your belly into the floor. Slight increase in the support sensation. From here, knee fold one leg. Don't let anything change. Knee fold the other. So a regular tabletop is 90 degrees. If I want to work a smidgen harder, I'll start the legs in what's called long table, which means they're pushed out a bit. I'm perfectly happy here with my knees in. If you're adding arms, reach them to the sky, connect the ribs and take the arms above your head and bring them down. If you are tight in the shoulders, have your hold position wider so that as your arms go above your head, you don't feel gripping around the neckline. Keep your ribs down as that starts, and then start your lower half. So I toe tap one leg, and I bring it up, and I toe tap the other. So remember, there's absolutely no movement happening in your core. This is a stabilization exercise in supported pelvis, neutral spine. And I'm just starting gentle. Now, if I'm feeling good, I'm going to add that straight leg pattern. The leg is going to reach in and out. The lower the leg goes, the more weight it is. The longer the lever, the heavier it is. That's going to make it harder. So if you feel yourself popping those rib cages up and down, or that back start to tilt into posterior anterior, you need to decrease the movement or increase your zipper. If it's still feeling good, we're going to do a very slow time. If that's a challenge, stay there. We're going to do a slow time in 4, 3, double leg, 2, and 1. Maybe you can touch, maybe you can't. Up, 2, 3. It's slow, it's slow, it's slow. Pull your abs up and in. down, 2, don't push them out, right? Don't bear down, pull up, lift, 2, 3, 4, 2 more. Feeling good, you're gonna straighten out those legs. I like to flex the foot and then bring it in. So if you can touch the back of your hand and the tips of your toes to the floor, or your heels if you're flexing, go for it. If that's causing spinal movement, tighten up or decrease your range. Last one, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 2, 3, beautiful. Drop that strap, one leg down, grab behind the legs briefly to roll up. So I shouldn't have said one leg down, but go with it. Tabletop, fingers point to booty. If you're tight in the shoulders, the fingers are gonna point out, not this way, and no jamming into your elbow joint. Bring your heels into parallel sits bones. Don't eat your heels into your ass. They're a little ways out. From here, we're gonna lift our hips, and we're gonna start to say hello to that butt. So it's not a thrust, but I do want you to feel the connection of your hips. Sense your feet. Are you rolling out on your baby toes? Take more awareness into your big toe and feel how your inner thigh and your abs just kind of wake up a bit more. And then if you're okay, look to your knees. If it's okay, you're gonna look straight to the sky. Bugs your neck, don't do it. Tailbone comes down, stay connected. Exhale and squeeze the butt cheeks as you lift. Inhale down. So it's not subtle. I want you to feel both glutes engage on this lift. And when you get to the lift of the table, I want you to hold that little butt squeeze. Wake out that glute max. It's extending the hips. It's what we want. That's its job. Let's go here and stay in the tabletop for 5, 4, draw your abs up, 3, if that bothers the neck, look to your knees, 2, 1, bring the booty down. So we're gonna transition this one into a little bit of side planking. So I want you to move farther down your mat so your hand has somewhere to go, because you're gonna stretch the leg out. And I don't want the leg on the floor if you've got a slippery floor. So this hand's going in the middle, like it's grabbing my tail. Now this hand can go back a bit and turn away from me, but just don't jam that elbow. So we're just gonna do our test the waters on the first one. We're gonna lift up and make sure the heels are underneath the knees, the shoulders underneath the wrist, and then if I'm okay, I'll give a little extra press and I can reach into that. And then I'm gonna bring that butt right down on both butt cheeks, both sits bones. Exhale, wild thing, press it up. Inhale down. 2 more, exhale, press it up. Give yourself support, squeeze those glutes. Extending the hip, the glute and hamstring have to work, right? Turn them on. Last one, only part way, only part way. Here you can go to your elbow if you want, and you can go to your knee. I'm gonna step out full, and then I'm gonna rotate my hips to face you. Now if I'm feeling unbalanced, I could be on my elbow, or I could be down on my knee. Perfectly doable. If you're feeling okay, get that top leg, you got it, Kylie. Parallel, still okay, arm up, still okay, leg up. Watch here that you're not in lateral flexion. You are neutral, but just on the side of your body. Holding 5, this one's tough. 4, breathe, 3, 2, top leg goes behind, and we sit back down from that wild thing. Same thing on the other side. Give your shoulders a little shake out. Take that hand, place it behind. I have it slightly farther behind, because my shoulders will go backwards when I find the position. I also have my elbow slightly bent. Grab your tailbone, and let's just find that wild thing. Push the hips up. Nice big breath. And bring it down. Again, I can be on my elbow, right? Press up. I don't have to be on wrist. And bring it down. Your vision goes with it. So your vision comes up with the hand, and then I'm looking to my back hand if I'm able to. On the ground, on the ground. Now go ahead halfway up. Step out 1 foot and feel your body rotate everything. So my hand is in line with my foot. If I'm okay, I'm on the knees, the foot, maybe both feet are up, maybe the hand is up. Imagine a hand underneath your waistline, pulling it to the sky, and then lift that top leg. 5, breathing, 4, 3, abs in, 2, 1, carefully bring the foot down, bring the booty down, all the way back to center. Grab behind your knees, roll it down. We're gonna go into our hamstrings. So we're gonna go into bridge. Pardon? Nappy time. All right, so for bridge, the closer your heels are to your bum, the less hamstring glute you're gonna sense. Too tight is just simply too tight. So if you've got extra mobility in the knees and you can get them right in there, still have them a little ways out. Don't drill them too far in. Farther out is going to be harder. We're going to start with articulations or hip rolls. Start at your pubic bone and roll it up. No headrest if you usually use one, please. I'm going to look down my body. Watch here, you don't thrust so high you feel that compression sensation that we did in floppies. This is not where we want to feel it. So this is traditionally done in neutral spine. I like a slightly supported pelvis. And then I bring the glutes down by rolling through. So vertebrae by vertebrae, roll it up. Go ahead, if you want a little more intensity, grab that strap, reach it to the sky, and roll it down. If it feels good as you roll up this time, take the arms above the head, but not resting, and hold them there. And then roll it down. Watch you didn't disengage the ribs from the hips. They're staying connected. This time, roll it up and keep it up. Keep it here. Lift your heels, lower your heels. Lift your heels, lower. If your feet are too far away, this will be awkward. You might need to get your knees in closer. Go 3 more. And go 2. So we're just holding that high bridge if we can. Keep the heels lifted. And I just want you to squeeze your butt. Squeeze, squeeze. Little ons and off. 5, release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping a little squeeze, lower the heels. Bring those arms to the sky, and we're just going to add our marching. So definitely sits bones, no bigger than that. Lift one leg. Watch you didn't twist your pelvis. Bring it down, and then lift the other. And bring it down. So it's just going to be an exhale to lift, an inhale to lower. If you feel you're moving your pelvis, lower down into a middle bridge for height. Maybe put your hands on ASIS and your elbows down and just sense if there's some mobility happening from left to right. If you can't sense it, look at your hips. When you lift the one leg, does that hip dip and rotate or hip hike? Pelvis is staying nice and strong. We're not shifting side to side. And that's your priority, right? So let's go ahead and keep one leg up. I don't care which leg you chose. Reach it to the sky or keep it tabletop. Tabletop's a little less aggressive. Arms over the head if you want. And then the leg is going to reach out or toe tap down and then come together. So this is my first option with a little toe tap going. My second option is a hip extension. There is nothing wrong with taking that leg quite far down and feeling extension gently in the hip flexor. Do not let it go into the lower back. Keep your extension into the hip only. So if your hip flexors are tight, that baby's only going down part way. It will not get as far. Push those hips up, pull those abs in. Leave everything reaching to the sky and squeeze the bum. Squeeze, squeeze. So this would be our bridge 3, tier 3. For those guys doing your training, this gets into tier 3-ish. 5, 4, you're squeezing that booty, right? 3, 2, 1. Cross that top leg into 4. Sink slowly. Now everyone's different on their flexibility. This is my Miffy hip, so honestly right here I feel a stretch. If you're not feeling it, you could grab underneath and pull that leg in closer. If you know double pigeon and you know it's invited, yeah, you got it. Roll right up and go ahead into double pigeon. I'm going to stay really gentle on my hips here. Inhale, exhale. Now if your back is like, I kind of need to twist, let yourself roll that into a left-right pattern while holding the 4. So I'm just going to rock it to one side, rock it to the other. It's not a have to, but if you know that back, that QL gets a little tight when you're working one side versus the other, unilateral patterns, QL really has to work hard. Go ahead and wiggle it out. Bring it back to center, unpretzel yourself. You're going to be crooked, so take the time to look through your legs, get your pubic bone in the middle, make sure left and right are kind of equal body-wise. Grab your strap and reach it up. Roll the spine. This side had a rest period, so we're going to start with the heel lifts again. Don't forget which leg you were working, right? Keeping the ribs connected, the hands can go over the head. Bring the booty as high as you can without feeling compression through the lower back. Feeling compression, drop a bit and give me a slightly supported spine. Let's go ahead and start, some marching. Lift one leg and bring it down and lift the other. So something that I like to add here, keep going with your marches. When you bring your foot down, don't flat foot it. We don't walk flat footed. So ball of foot goes down and you roll through the heel, right? So ball of foot through heel. When you bring it off, the heel comes off first and then you push away with the toes. That gait is super important not to lose. Super important to make sure you maintain that ankle movement pattern. On the next one, you're going to leave that opposite leg in the air, and it's going to start with the toe tap. The arms can join the party. Squeeze that glute. I think I just went on to the same leg. I'm running away from my dumbass side. It's like, I don't want to work. The other leg can do it twice. If it feels good, I'm going to go into that extension through the hip. Don't lose your back on the extension. Squeeze the butt. Push those hips theoretically towards the sky with control. Don't fire that lower back. Great place for people to overfire if they're unstable or hypermobile in the lower part of the spine. So super careful here. Let's go 2 more. Mind's eye to the foot. Roll a bit of weight into the big toe side. Woo! There's the inner thigh turning on now. Hold it to the sky. Knee bent or straight. Squeeze. 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 Harder would be this leg reaching parallel to my other leg. Squeeze. It's heavier. 5, 4. Harder, arms above the head, right? 3, 2, 1. Cross that nasty hip. Sink. Go into what feels good for you. Again, remember, left and right are often not made equal, so just kind of be nice to the body and stretch it out appropriately. If rotation, the body's wanting a little rotation, go ahead and add that little left-right pattern. Inhale, exhale as you go. Double pigeon if it feels good, gang. And then bring yourself back to center. So we are going to play with roll over. If you don't like roll over, you can get rid of the strap here. It'll just be in your way. If you're not comfortable going all the way up on the spine in what would be like plow or roll over-ish movement, you're going to do toe tap, cross legs, hip lift. So I'm going to teach everyone hip lift first, just so you have it. If you have lower back stuff going on, you can take your hands and make a little diamond and put them in the sacrum. So my thumbs are by the top of my sacrum, my fingers are down by my ischial tuberosities almost, or my sits bones. And then I'm going to find a supported spine, knee fold one leg, knee fold the other, lift it up a little higher, cross my ankles. So from here, I am going to use my hands to allow me to pull my lower part of the spine off. What happens is we use the upper half to add momentum. Upper half is quiet. So let's just get that little hip lift. Now, if you're comfortable with it, you can go straight arms with straight arms on the arm position, and you can go a little higher. So I'm exhaling to press and coming down. Let's switch ankles on the lead. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. You will feel pressure into your tricep muscle. You are using it. That's okay. So give me one more here, and then uncross your legs, double leg toe tap. Bring it up, cross the opposite leg over top, hip lift, uncross toe tap. So if this is where you need to stay, long spine, sorry, not long spine, that's reformer. Rollovers not in your practice, continue that. If rollovers in your practice, reach those legs out actively, parallel sits bones, up they come, over the head they go. Touch gently if that's okay and you're not feeling compression in your neck. Open the legs a little bit, laterally rotate them, peel your spine down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Connect into the core as you lengthen those legs away. At the bottom, parallel, hug your feet in tight. Inhale up, exhale over. Touch down, open a little bit, peel down. If you can't get that booty off, you could put a foam roller underneath your butt or a small block, right? To lift the hips initially. Or a small ball. Bring your legs in together. Inhale up. Exhale over. Little touch. Open the legs. Small lateral rotation. Peel it down vertebrae by vertebrae. Continue to peel. Lengthen it away. Bring the legs together. Last one. A little extra challenge. Hands over the head. Inhale up. Exhale over. Oh, that's ugly and stiff. Little touch. Open. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Peel it down. Tailbone anchors, bend the knees, and let's go ahead and stretch out one leg along the front of your mat and lie right onto the side. So we're going into a side leg lift series. Bent is going to give me a nice anchor. If my toes will invite, anchors, my next level up. Reaching with the foot down is my next level. Right off the floor is my next. Hand down, hips stacked, lift and lower that top leg. Lift and lower. If my hand above my head is not going to happen, reach the hand here and stack some pillows underneath your headline. We don't want the head dangling here. This is not a neutral alignment for the neck. So neck, we always talk about the alignment in the pelvis. The neck and the shoulders have alignment too, right? If you're getting this massive lift, you're finding glute or quad and hip flexor. Keep your knee to me. Side glute. Glute min, TFL. Beautiful. Might need the hands down. Give me some circles. No movement forward and backwards in the spine, but the hip is going into extension and flexion. The knee is staying straight. Go 2 more. Doesn't have to be speedy. And 1, go the other direction. Inhale, exhale, just natural breaths. Go 2 more, and then we're going to do stagger. Actually, we're just going to do lower leg lift. Keep this leg actively reaching. Bring your lower leg up and bring it down. Waking up the adductors, but also the core should be nicely turned on. Now we're going to do stagger. Both legs go down. As both legs go down, I've got major hip stuff going on. I feel a massive stretch, so be careful with that. Lift one leg, lift the other, roll it down. Lift, lift, lower. Notice how you want to roll back on your ass like a kickstand. Stay on the greater trochanter. Super bony. Put a little pad underneath there. Glue both legs doubles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach those legs actively. Take your top, bottom leg, anchor it in front. Toe doesn't like the anchor. The knee can be bent. We're doing our side kick series. If the headline will invite, hands to this position. I'm going to flex my foot and kick it forward twice without flexing my spine. I'm going to point the toe and extend my hip back. So it's inhale, inhale, exhale. Side kick series 1. Inhale, inhale, exhale. 1 more. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Now stay with the exhale with that leg reaching back and lift the ribs off the mat. So I've got space. I'm going to flirt them down. So I'm laterally flexed and I'm lifting to neutral. I do push into my elbow to achieve this. Watch as you lift up, you don't pop the ribs out, and extend in the spine. You're neutral. You just happen to be on your side. Hold it lifted. Extend that leg back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. Pull that leg in. Release it out. Find that rotation. Rock it back and forth. If your hammy wants more stretch, you can straighten that leg into flamenco 3. If that's just like, hell no, too tight, grab your band, put it around your foot, if I can get it around my foot. Grab it with the opposite hand as to foot, and rotate. Couple breaths. Tendency will be to turn on your bottom butt cheek to protect. Let it go. It's a stretch. Let it go. Rotate the spine. Inhale, exhale. Let that leg gently come back, and we're actually going to go into mermaid before switching sides. So press yourself up into your mermaid. Mermaid not happening on the knees and the hips today. This leg can extend out, right? And then I'm just holding here. Otherwise, tuck it behind. First thing you're going to do is work at getting this hip to drop so my sit bone settles. I have to slouch to go there. I can't sit tall and get that hip, but I'm rocking forward and backwards. If you know where this goes, that nice big reach, and you're ready and it feels good in your body, go right ahead. So my hand is planted. I'm going to reach and stretch. Maybe it's a little reach. Maybe you can come bigger and hold for a moment. Yeah, let's go 2 more. And last 1. And then keep the hips down. Rotate the spine towards that backhand. That backhand is lined up with your sit bone. We're doing mermaid. So I'm going to come down and up. If my front hand is staying down, I want to avoid flexion here in the spine. So I need to tighten that ass cheek and lift up that back leg. If I'm feeling good, you guys know your options. Hand into the small of the back is harder. Arm reaching away is even harder. Leg reaching is harder. Notice as you start to do this, you round, lengthen, you're staying neutral. If you've got a little extension in you when you come up here, go ahead. I don't. Too tight on my hip. Last one. Come all the way out. Grab that leg, tuck it in, sink the hip, go into lateral flexion the opposite direction. Beautiful. So the front knee, you're going towards that side. And then rotate down a bit. Bring it back up. Reach it all the way out. Spin the legs fully to the other side. Same thing. Line up along the mat. If you line up along the mat, you can tell it's a feedback tool if you're rolling forward or backwards. I'm going to line my armpit, my leg, Shoulders not having it, I go here, I stack up. Bottom leg 90, anchored, reaching, lifted, stack that top leg. Lift lower the top. I like adding a point and flex. If I over point, I get very crampy in my feet. Here, imagine a small mouse hole underneath your rib cage, and you're lifting your ribs ever so slightly up. So that if you can think of lying on the ground but being neutral and not having lateral flexion, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm just lifting and lowering. So you do turn on the abs and you pull up. Give that little circle now, forward and backwards. This is my dumbass side, and my body's dying to kind of lean forward and lean backwards to compensate the forward-backward of the hip. Keep your torso as still as you can. If you need to, fingertip down. Switch directions. Should be turning on the glute me, glute min. Right? That side butt cheek. The max is turning on, but it's gentle. Like if you felt your booty, you'd feel more top shelf right here where my hand is, at the top part, versus massive glute. Max. It's turned on, but it's not doing it. Now I'm just going to hold that top leg and lift and lower the bottom. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Tighten up the abs because the body will want to dip through the rib cage. 4, breathe as you go. 3, 2, falling backwards. 1, stagger, lift the top, lift the bottom. Oh, lower both. Lift, lift, lower. So the hip that I have less movement in doesn't get all the way up on this. I can't go past internal rotation or past midline very nicely. Be mindful that you've definitely got weaker sides, right? Both legs going for 5, 4, pull your abs in, 3, 2, and 1, and then anchor that front foot. So we're going into our kick. Anchor the front foot and get your hand underneath your headline. This stretches the armpit, so careful with it. And that leg is reaching long straight out from my hip socket. Flex the foot, 2 kicks forward, point the foot, and extend it back without losing rib hip. So if I take my top arm and I put it on rib hip, as I move my leg into flexion going forward and extension of the hip going back, I shouldn't feel myself rocking forward and backwards on the torso, right? That's staying stable. Press and push. 2 more. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, inhale. Now keep that leg extended behind. So if I look at my leg, right up from my hip socket, I'm standing on it. Push it slightly back so there's a bit of hip extension. And now lift and lower those nasty rib cages. Just the ribs. So I'm pushing into that front elbow. The hand is underneath my head, and I'm pushing into the front elbow, lifting my ribs and lowering them. This is a tough one. For 4, lift those ribs. 3, if you need to, rest the leg down a bit. 2, otherwise keep it active. Last one, hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, release. And let's go ahead into that big rotational. Take a moment to go into your rotational before we come up to our mermaid. Look in opposite direction. Rock it back and forth. If it feels okay and you want to straighten out that top leg, go ahead. Relax the bottom booty. Big breaths, you guys. Really big breaths, right? Calming breaths. So if you want to go inhale mouth, exhale mouth, go right ahead. Nose breathing is better. If you can inhale nose, exhale nose on this one, go for it. It's a very calming breath. It's more of a clean breath. If it's difficult, don't worry about it. Do the mouth. And then slowly come out. We're going to use those legs to bring ourselves up and find our mermaid on this side. I'm resetting everything. I've got the wrong top on today. So from here, I'm just going to lift that hip and lower it, right? So for me, with hip stuff, I take a little bit of time getting going here. If you're good and you're ready to press, yeah, nice, good Kylie, right on. Go right into it. If you're ready to press right up, go ahead, right? If your range is bigger than mine, this is where mine is. If you've got more range and can push higher and you feel connected and you don't feel any pressure in the back, go bigger. Go bigger. If you're a hypermobile person, you don't get to go as far as you think you want to. I know that sounds mean. You're like, oh, but I've got that much range. But do you have that much strength? Pull back if you know you're a hypermobile person. One more time, and then bring those hips down. Tuck that leg in and try and sit that booty down. Rotate yourself. One hand goes down. So remember your options are down, back, reach, leg lifting. I'm going to start with both my hands down. I'm just going to turn here so you can see keep going. My elbow here is lined up with my sit bone. and it's in a tricep position. So it's coming down so that my tricep is working. If I'm feeling okay, this hand can go in the small of the back. I'm not flexing the spine, I'm staying neutral. There's a lot of pressure into that one tricep. If I'm still okay, I'm going to reach the arm forward, and I'm going to kick that leg back, squeezing that gluteal in the back position. Beautiful. Yeah. Go 2 more on whatever you chose in your own body. And last one. And on the up this time, come all the way up. Tuck that foot in. Settle your hip down. And then give me lateral flexion in the opposite direction to what we were just moving. So the front knee, flex over towards that. And then rotate. Slowly back to lateral. And then all the way out. We are going into extension. We've warmed it, but we're going to get a bit more. Strap is going into the small of the back. We're doing double leg kick. If you don't need the strap, just have it across your back, because we are going to do shoulder extension after. So even if you can grab your own hands, you want that strap. Find your body down, and then take a few moments here. Look down your body. Get lateral rotations. If you're not sure, heels come to bum. And then I laterally rotate out my hips. So my knees and my hips are in turnout. I'm going to reach my legs actively. So both big toes are reaching to the corners of the mat equally. Then I'm going to lift up and make sure my pubic bone and my sternum bone are in the middle. From there, I'm floating it down. Give a little booty wiggle. From here, I want to take my hands into the small of my back. Now, if I can interlace them and let my arms go lazy, I will. That's a tough one on a lot of people's shoulders. So if need be, I grab the strap and then I let my arms butterfly. I'm going to turn one cheek completely looking to the side. If you have neck issues, when you plug that ear into the floor, it's going to give you a big stretch. You may not get the ear all the way down. From here, I'm going to do, watch your feet on the reformer trough. I'm going to do 3 kicks of my bum to my heel. I'm going to go 1, flex your foot, 2, 3. Now, as I reach away through the legs, I'm going to actively squeeze my glutes, lengthen my hamstrings, reach the arms, and I'm going to find my nice long extension in the center. Turn your cheek, hands come into the small of the back as the feet come in, and we're going to pump 2, 3, exhale to lengthen, rotate, inhale, 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 exhale. If you're doing the opposite breath, it really doesn't matter. We're going to go inhale, 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 exhale. As you do the kick butts, watch your whole body's not shifting. Keep tight. 2, it's not a massive kick. Don't tighten those hamstrings so much that you're really shifting your pelvis. Let's go 1, 2, 3, reach, stay here. Anchor the feet. If you were using the hand grasp, grab your strap now and just find extension of the shoulders behind your back. Tendency here is to push your belly into the floor. Draw your abs up off the floor. Tuck your chin in a little bit so you're not getting sore in the neck looking up, and just lower and lift those arms. If the lower back is feeling challenged but strong, lift and lower the legs as well. The leg pattern is looking for length, not height. Sense that your knee is straight. Lengthen it with power. Let's go 3 more. 3. These ones are tough. Exhale 2. Draw those abs in nice and strong. And hold in the up. Hold in the up. 5. Pull your abs up off the floor. 4. Straighten those legs. 3, 2, 1. Release. Push back in either child's pose or beach pose, whatever's calling your name. Ooh, wiggle it back. Do what you need to do. Couple inhales, exhales. If you don't feel like your back needs to round out, don't. The automatic reaction for most people after doing extension work is to round. But that lumbar spine just worked at staying nice, strong, and neutral, and the thoracic worked in staying extension, which is all the muscles that allow us to sit tall. So to then collapse into rounding does release the muscles out. But there's nothing wrong with the body staying upright. Like, that's the goal, is to get that upright body, right? So we're going to do a little thread the needle, and then we'll release it out. So 4-point stance. Here I kind of cheat my 4-point stance. I take my hands too wide and back too far. The side that I'm turning to, I internally rotate that humerus. My fingers are pointing in, and then I come down by my knee and I slide it across. I try and tuck my shoulder down to the ground, and then I rotate. If this is difficult, get a block underneath the shoulder.
Now, if you've got your shoulder down, you can reach that arm to the sky. Still okay, I can take that arm to the sky, anchored across my back bottom hip, and rotate even more. Tuck your chin in, look to your booty, side of your booty, and then roll your weight slightly forward. Massive stretch through that levator, neckline to shoulder blade. It's a nasty. Couple of big breaths there, you guys. Hand to the floor. Press away with some power. Let the head have a little no. Big breath. Slightly internally rotated. Back towards you and out to the side. That's going to give you the most base of support, right? We're not challenging balance here. We just want base. Go ahead and rotate. Tuck that shoulder right under. Get it under there. If you need a block, use a block. Push away into the stretch. Tuck your chin. Look to the back hip. Hand up. If you're on your shoulder as well as your neck, not just your neck. Anchor that hip. Rotate. Big, massive breaths here, you guys. Super hard place to take big breaths. Take them. Nice and big. Hand to the floor. Press away with strength. Ooh. Give everything a little wiggle. I find that when I do down dog, I slip a bit, so I grab the side. We're going to finish with the down dog. Curl those toes. Press it up. Do what you need to do. It's a reset. The back of the hamstrings are going to be tight. The calves are going to be tight. We just worked all that posterior line. I get crampy feet. I'm pawing into my toes. Walk your feet towards your hands or your hands towards your feet, but either way, don't fingertip. Find yourself in ragdoll. I don't love unsupported movement for my lower back, so I pop my elbows up onto my legs. If you're nice and unsupported, if you like it, go for it. But I am letting my head dangle looking through my legs, so it's just totally inverted. Couple big breaths here. If all you've had is coffee this morning, careful as you come up that you don't get lightheaded. Nice and slow. All the way up to tall. Give a little reset. Give a little wiggle. And let's just do a nice big breath, guys. Inhale as we come to tall. Lift that heart a bit. We're going to do a small reset on that lower back. We're going to take our hands. If this is tough, you're going to use your pubic bone against the wall. I'll show it over there. Otherwise, I'm going to go wide. I'm going to let myself go Buddha belly, jiggly butt. Hands on what would be PSIs, which are those two little dimples on the back of someone's spine. And I'm very gently going to push those hips forward. I didn't let my head go. I'm counterbalancing with my head. If you're okay, you can slowly go through. I am feeling compression. I'm not pulling in and doing upper thoracic. I am getting into that lumbar. So if this is too aggressive, pubic bone, keep your neck tucked in, and just get your spine opening up this way. We don't want to finish forward flexed, right? We spend all day there. When you're good, come back to center, give it a wiggle. Last breath up, guys. Nice strong inhale to the sky. Hands down center, hard, and we are done.